like this, they have to genuinely enjoy and actively seek out human interaction. And so you didn't get to see it because we already had another encounter just before you. But for the other people that came in, as soon as I came in to pick up Chloe, she had already uncovered herself and was sitting on the edge of the little basket looking, trying to see where I was at because she knew it was right at about time for her encounter. And she started reaching out as soon as she saw me coming because she wanted to be picked up. Yes, and Zoe and Dash both do that too. Those are our two other ambassador sloths. If I just walk into Zoe's enclosure, she could be completely asleep over there in the corner, but if she hears me open up that door and I go in and start talking to her, she climbs to me really quickly.
Is that an older one or?
Yeah, she's almost 2 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, she's 15 pounds, so she's full grown.
She's full grown.
Mhm.
Oh, and
Yeah.
do they sleep most of the day?
They do, yeah, they do sleep a lot. They don't sleep as much as people used to think that they did. Some scientists used to speculate that they slept upwards to like 20 plus hours a day. When they don't actually sleep that long, usually it's around 13 to 14 hours a day, which, you know, I could probably sleep that long if
I was going to say, I think I'm a part sloth.
Yeah. But most of the time in the daytime, because of the condition they have with their eyes, they kind of see like night goggle vision, and looking through night goggles in the middle of the day, they really can't see anything. So they choose to just stay in one spot all day long so that they don't risk the possibility of falling in the rainforest.
Right.
Because it does happen quite often in the middle of the day if they're startled by something, even if it's just a butterfly that's flapping in front of their face, it could be enough to startle them to where they're trying to get away from it.
Right.
And in their skedaddling to get away from that butterfly, they could grab a hold of what they think is the next branch when it's actually their own leg, and then they let go of the back leg and then they'll fall. So they do fall quite often. And it's not too much of an issue for a sloth though, because they're built to be able to withstand a fall from 100 feet in the air and be completely unharmed. Yeah. So on the inside, they're kind of built like trucks. They look pretty spindly and pretty fragile. Their little arms look like they'd be really easily broken, but their bones are actually extremely pliable. So they're kind of double jointed to begin with, and when they hit the ground or if they smack on some branches on the way down, their bones just kind of flex. They don't really break like ours would if we experience some kind of trauma like that. Dash just had 30 minutes today, and then Zoe hasn't had anything, I don't think.
Okay, I may have a 4 o'clock encounter for you. I'll let you know.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry.
That's all right.
But yeah, so they can experience, you know, really big falls like that, and really, you know, they'll just get right back up and go right back up the tree that they fell from. And so what happens a lot of times is if they're in the middle of the branch in the middle of the day, can't really see much, they're just staying put, and then they see a little bit of movement out of the corner of their eye that's slowly coming towards them, that could very well be a jaguar that's creeping up on them, because the jaguar is not going to come barreling out on the end of the branch trying to get a hold of them. They're going to be making sure that they have their balance and trying to sneak up as slow as they can and hope that the sloth doesn't see them. But since they pick up on motion really well, they're going to look and react to see if that's something that they got to get away from, because sloths that have essentially no defense mechanism, they've got to get the head start to try to get away first. Because what they'll do is go out to the very end of the branch where that branch gets a lot thinner and may be able to support a 10 or 15 pound sloth weight, but probably not a 35 or 40 pound jaguar's weight as well. And so if the jaguar presses the matter to go out on the end of the branch after the sloth, and the branch eventually breaks, that's really best case scenario for the sloth, because they're going to be able to survive that fall, and the jaguar is probably going to be trying to land onto all 4 feet. And falling from a height of 100 feet up in the air is not going to work out that well for them.
Yeah.
And so the jaguar is probably going to be laying there for quite a while, whereas the sloth will just look over and go, ha, ha, and go right back up the tree.
And so, what do they eat? Do they eat vegetarian food?
Mm-hmm. For the most part, yeah. Now, two-toed sloths in the world today, there are two-toed sloths and three-toed sloths. The three-toed sloths only eat leaves. That is their main diet. They eat like 95% leaf material, and the other 5% are like insects. They'll eat some of the insects that are on their own backs, and that's pretty much it. Now, the two-toed sloths are kind of opportunistic omnivores. If they were to come across a small bird's nest with some really young baby birds in it, they would eat something like that, as well as small lizards and amphibians. If they were on the trees next to them, they would eat something like that as well. And some bigger organizations that have much more sloths than we do actually will opt to feed them pinkies, little mice that have not even developed hair on them yet. And so they do pretty well on that. And it's not, if it was an actual nutritional requirement that they needed a live form of protein, we would do that. But we keep ours on 2 hard-boiled eggs a week and dog food. And so they do really well on that. And so that's their protein source. But the other majority of their diet are leaf material and other veggies like spinach or zucchini and squash and sweet potato, corn and stuff like that.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was wondering when I was talking with my sister-in-law, I said, what do you think they eat? Do you think they're carnivores or you know, just vegetarian?
Mm-hmm.
She goes, I have no idea. I would have to Google it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but she
mostly
has some
vegetarian.
animals. Yeah.
But their teeth, if you were to stumble across a skeleton of a sloth and have their skull attached as well, their teeth are all pointed and they look like a carnivore's teeth. They look like they would be a meat eater, when in reality, they just use those teeth to grind up the leaves that they're eating, and that's really it. And so they do really well on the leaf diet like that. And they'll eat, you know, the two-toed sloths, like I said, they'll eat a little bit of protein through a live source, but that's
and
really
do
it.
they have just one stomach?
So the way that their stomach is set up is kind of like a ruminant animal, like a cow, the one that has like the bigger rumen and then the reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. So they'll digest the leaves that they're eating similar to how a cow digests the grass that they're eating. And so the first compartment of their stomach creates a lot of gas in that fermenting process and actually enables the sloths to be really good swimmers, because when they get into water, the back end just kind of floats.
Oh, wow.
And then with one swipe of the front claw, it kind of propels them forward quite a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do they swim?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had somebody tell me the other day, they were like, I saw a video of a sloth swimming and I thought that it was AI.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, the fastest form of transportation for a sloth is by water. And so if they are trying to travel for whatever reason, if they've heard a mate over in some other trees that are kind of making that mating call that they'll make, the male will slowly make his way over to her. And what he'll do a lot of times is try to find a body of water so that he can swim, because it's a lot more, everything about a sloth, they're trying to conserve as much energy as possible and think of the ways that they can, you know, not use any energy. And so it's actually a lot more efficient for a sloth to swim than it is for them to crawl.
Wow.
Because crawling, they have to use all 4 limbs, but swimming, they just have to use the front 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really something. I
Mhm.
would not think that.
Yeah.
So do they, how often do they mate? Just once a year?
Twice. Once every 2 years.
Every 2 years?
Mhm, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the gestation for a sloth is 11 months. And then after that, the baby will stick with the mother for about 3 months. And then it takes a little bit longer for her system to get regulated to where she'll go back into heat.
And does she usually have just one baby, or?
Usually just one. Occasionally she can have 2 eggs that will be fertilized. And then there'll usually be one that's a lot smaller than the other one. And it'll just be within a few hours to a day or 2 before that one will just fall off. And then they'll have the bigger one to take care of, because they don't have enough energy reserves to care for 2 babies. So,
Not enough energy.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
yeah. Everything about a sloth is slow, and it is slow because it has to be slow,
Yeah.
because their diet is, you know, just mostly leaf material.
But like right now, it's awake even though even though she hasn't made a move at all.
Mhm. Well, her eyes were closed just a little bit ago, but now she's got them open, and they're slowly starting to close again. And she's got this string of drool coming out of her mouth, so she's like
She's
really
relaxed.
sleeping. Yes. Yeah.
She's snoring.
Is she
I can feel her going.
really?
She's a good sleeper.
Yeah.
Chloe, you're a good sleeper.
I'll take some more pictures for you.
Okay.
Yes, you heard that fridge door open up.
Everything's in the fridge for you.
And they're a lot smarter than people think that they would be. You know, sloths are really slow active. So a lot of people think that they would be slow mentally, but they are a lot smarter than people would think. Dash and Zoe both know their names, and so you could be in the same room as them, having a conversation, doing whatever, and they'll be fine over there. But then as soon as you start talking about them and saying their names, they'll start to wake up and crawl around, crawl over to you, trying to figure out where you're at.
So when you put her in her enclosure, like in her cage,
Mhm.
what does she do in there? She just hangs, or?
Most of the time, it depends on the sloth. So Chloe is still at the age where she's pretty much on that stuffed animal all the time. It mimics her mother, and so if she was still with her mother, she would be hanging on the chest of the mother, and so in the position that she's in right now. But Zoe, she's almost 2 years old, so she's always hanging in her enclosure. She'll either be hanging, or she's got a really comfortable position where she'll kind of rest her butt and then kind of fold herself over and scrunch over into a little ball, and she's pretty comfortable like that in the daytime. But at night, when they can see a lot better, that's when they get a lot more active, and they'll start climbing around and doing laps in their enclosures.
They get excited at
Yeah,
night then, and
they
they
do,
kind
yeah.
of get moving,
Mm-hmm.
and then, so they don't ever run or anything,
No,
but
no.
they just move and like kind of.
Usually all of their movements are very slow and controlled, but they can definitely have bursts of energy if they want to, like Flash, our biggest sloth, he's 7 years old. In the morning, his encounter is right in here. He'll hang on this branch that's up above us, and he'll stay there for about the first hour of the day, and then after his encounter is over, I open up that door and let him go back in. And he goes back up to the top of his enclosure a lot quicker than people think that he would move. So his enclosure is 20 feet, and he probably makes it to the top of his enclosure within 10 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, he can move pretty quickly.
And when he has his encounter, like, does he just sit on someone's lap, or does?
So Flash didn't go through the same ambassador program that our other 3 sloths did, so he has never been held, and Flash will never be held unless he's the one to climb onto us. And it's different for Zoe and Chloe and Dash because they were raised starting at a week old, slowly being around people and then slowly working up to being held. But it'll be Flash's decision to climb onto us because he was already 3 by the time that we got him and never had any human interaction before us. He was still born and raised in captivity and had people go into his enclosure to put food in his dish, and that was about it. And so it took him a long time to get to the point where he's at now, where he'll actually come down and be looking for interaction with us just to be able to get his breakfast in the morning. Then he goes back up whenever he wants to. And none of our animals have to perform for any of the food that they get. In the mornings, if he decides that he doesn't want to come down for whatever reason, we'll swap over and just use a different sloth for his encounter, and then his food goes right into his dish right afterwards. And so he knows that if I come down first thing, I get my breakfast a lot sooner, because if I don't come down, they do another encounter without me, and then my food goes in my dish, and it's usually a few hours later that he gets his breakfast.
So he sometimes does an encounter, but
it'll be a handful of times. I've worked here for 5 months, and he's probably not come down maybe 10 times. So it's just, it's few and far between, but yeah.
So you've only worked here for 5 months?
Mm-hmm.
And do you have like a veterinarian degree?
That's my end goal, is to become a veterinarian. What I have right now is a bachelor's degree in animal science.
Oh, good.
And then, so this is just kind of a stop along the way to kind of help boost my resume for vet school.
Oh, good.
And I actually just got word yesterday, got my email for an invitation to do an interview at UT, which is really where I'm wanting to go to vet school. And so I had interviewed last year with UT but didn't get accepted my first year applying. So this will be my second application, and hopefully that'll be enough to boost me over the edge. Hopefully I'll get in this next time.
I hope you get in.
Me too.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
your interview.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Excited and nervous.
When is it?
It'll either be on the 23rd or 24th. Those are both interview days, and they said that they'll send out a separate email with the date and the time. And it's virtual, so I have to do it online, which I do not like whatsoever. Like, I want to be able to shake your hand and tell you who I am, but it is
That's
what it
just
is.
the way they do it now. It's
Yeah.
just.
And I really think I lucked out the last time, because like I said, I got an interview with the UT last year, but my interviewers were just terrible.
Were they?
Like, it was, there was some lady that worked for the vet school and somehow dairy related, and then it was a 3rd-year vet student. And neither of them were personable whatsoever. Like, in answering the questions, I would try to kind of interact with them and tell them, you know what I mean, and try to get them to feedback. And they never would really say much. And then after I would finish answering the question, they would just be like, "Thank you. So the next question is blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
So it was rough. It shot my nerves through the roof, and so it made me stutter a lot, and just, I wasn't as confident in myself. So I don't think it can get any worse than that. Knock
Well,
on wood, but
you just have to hope for the best.
Yeah.
Pray about it.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll
There's been a lot
get
of
there.
that.
There's a reason why it didn't happen last year and this
Well,
year.
and that's the thing is last year when I got my, declining letter, I was absolutely devastated. I mean, I knew that it was a possibility. A lot of people have to apply more than once before they get in. But if I had gotten accepted last year, I never would have started working here, and I never would have met my fiance, which I started when I started working here. And so,
You guys got met here?
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
So we're engaged now.
Oh, how
yeah.
wonderful. When are you getting married?
Next month.
Oh,
In
good.
November, yeah. So I've always known that I've wanted a short engagement because I'm like, if you find the person that you know you want to spend the rest of your life with, what's the point in drawing it out? I mean, I know
Yeah.
plans take a while, but we've been engaged for 2 months now. So.
Oh, good. Well, that's great. Where are you guys getting married?
It's in Madisonville, so it's like 45 minutes from here in my home church. And then, yeah, we'll be going on a cruise to the Bahamas right afterwards.
Fun.
Yeah.
That'll be beautiful.
So, at the time when I got my, got declined, of course I was super bummed, and I could only see from point A to point B is where I wanted to get. But God had a different plan. He wanted to take me around a few other places and, meet my fiance before taking on the next step. So just always had to trust his timing, because his timing's way better than ours.
Does he work in this area too?
Yeah.
Oh,
He was the one that actually just came in just a minute ago to get in the fridge.
The camera guy?
No, the other one.
Oh.
Yeah, Vladik. He came in just to get out of the fridge.
Oh, I saw Vladik with the monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He was with Georgie. I asked him, can I take a
Yes.
picture of your monkey? And he goes, yeah, go ahead. He's really nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's all worked out.
Good.
Our time is just about up, but I wanted to get a few more pictures for you real quick before
Can
we
I
go
hold
to-
her up a little
Yeah, you
bit
can
so
pick her up just
she
a little
can be
bit
by
more.
my face
Yeah.
a little bit? I won't let her bite me.
Yeah, that's good right there.
Right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Oh, she's posing. Here we go. That's good. I'm getting a little close up of her face. So curious.
I know.
All
Well, it's been so fun to do
good.
this. This was really a bucket list item
Yeah.
to do.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got to
I want to
come.
look at her real close.
Yeah.
I got to take off my glasses to try
Yeah.
and see her real close. She's really been drooling all over
Oh,
her
yeah.
paw.
Mm-hmm.
Do they drool a lot?
Not typically, but that's
Oh,
more
I touched your
specific.
nose. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
I made
That's
you.
more specific to her. They all kind
I'm
of have their own
sorry.
little quirks.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm
Dash,
so sorry.
Dash is our year-old sloth, and he always has his little tongue sticking out just a little bit, and he's always done that.
I'm so sorry. I scared you. I didn't mean to scare you.
It's okay.
Did I scare you when I grabbed your nose? I didn't mean to.
Says, I just wasn't expecting it.
I'm sorry. You're such a pretty girl.
Oh, are you coming down, Vlad? Awesome. It sounds like you ate but some bad meatloaf. y'all from? Oh, cool. I feel like this whole group was Chattanooga.
Really?
Yeah. For a while, we wouldn't get too many locals because you had to stay here, you know?
Yeah.
But now there's starting to be a lot more locals, which is good.
That's cool.
You could just give it to them when they come back. I gotta give it to them while they walk. Alright guys, so beyond the thing I already told you about, there's a lot else to know about a camel. His nose is slip shaped. He's got about hairs in his nose. They go all the way back to the crook of his neck. As he exhales, that strips all the water vapor out of his breath, going all the way down. As he inhales, all that same water vapor moisturizes his air on the way down to his lungs, so that he doesn't suffer so much from the dryness in the desert. They give him a carrot so he'll can it. That's his negotiation tactic. If you give me a carrot, you can hear yourself think. Maybe. Until he wants another carrot. So, the camel, eyes, nose, ears, lips, everything closes up airtight and watertight. His eyes, he's got 3 eyelids. First eyelid closes to make his eye watertight. Second eyelid closes against the sand, but he can see through it. Third eyelid closes to close his eyes. They're all 3 voluntary muscles, so he can choose to close 1 or 2 or 3 of them. People ask about the dips behind his eyes. It's not so much that he has dips, as that his eyes are standing out from the sides of his head on a large bony structure. Gives him a wider field of vision going all the way around. Big long legs make a big difference for the camel. If you were at a campfire and you put your hands down here by the fire, you're going to scorch your fingers off, right? Hold them up this high, it's pretty comfortable. Same for him. Surface temperature of the sand might be 140 degrees, but by the time you get up to where his belly is, it's maybe only 100. So that saves him 30, 40 degrees of heat exposure. The long legs also let the wind brush past him without, like, if he was a small animal like big, it would just like hit him and tumble around, right? And it would just go over. But since he's big and tall, it goes all around him and carries heat away. Camel can change his interior body temperature by about 10 Fahrenheit, so that all day long he can get hotter and hotter and then cool back off at night. That keeps him from sweating, because all sweating is losing moisture, and you cannot afford to lose moisture in the desert. If you look at their legs, they look like they've got worn out looking spots all over their fronts and backs of their legs. When the camel lays down in the desert, he's going to touch the ground. So everywhere he's going to touch the ground, he's got one of these patches that keep him from burning his skin on the ground. He's going to climb you like an oak tree. In between his 2 front legs, he's got his big, huge sternum plate. Sternum plate is 6 or 8 inches thick and hard as a stone. When he lays down onto the ground, the sternum plate touches the ground and his body cavity doesn't. So it leaves a gap like that between his belly and the ground. Now, that may not sound like a huge deal, unless you put it into perspective. If this is your stovetop, this is your hand, you're pretty in love with that little bit of a gap. Right? Because that's conduction, that's convection, makes all the difference in the world. The camel's hump is entirely full of fat and adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is what gives shape to fat. So there is no bone or anything else in there, it's just fat. The camel's intestines are huge. When the camel goes poop in the desert, it is dry enough to light it with a match when it hits the ground. That's an important thing to know, because if you want to have a fire at night, you can't burn sand, there isn't any wood, so that's what you're burning, it's camel dung. Fortunately, it doesn't smell like anything. It's dry as a stone. When it hits the ground, you can light it immediately. And if you're walking a camel in the desert, you keep a bag with you to pick up everything that the camel has dropped off, because that's how you're going to have a fire at night. And you can get a little freezing most of the nights of the year in the desert. Very few people know that the camel is just as good in the cold as he is in the heat. The dromedary can be left out down to about 40 degrees below zero, not below freezing, but below zero. And the back-rank camel can be out all the way down to 60 or 70 below 0 Fahrenheit. The back-rank camels are wild all the way up into Siberia. So they can literally take 60 Fahrenheit below zero. So that's about 90 less than it takes to freeze from water to ice. All right, we're going to get you going on a camel ride now. And then we're going to go in and meet the baby camels. All right, so she older than 5?
No.
You need to ride with her. All right, so we're going to let her get on half of my tenders up.
Feet higher than the wood.
You gonna go?
And what's this one's name again?
Ed.
Boo-boos. What kind of ducks do you have? Camels and daisies. Peking ducks, runner ducks. Years ago I tried having mandarin ducks. I thought it was going to be so cool. The girls are always just flying little gray ducks and the males turn that super bright color once a year for a month.
Oh, really? That's it?
Yeah, that's it. And then, predators get them and you waste $1,000 too. But when they do, look super cool, brief